Welcome to Wasatch Weekends. I'm Kimberly Pro, your host for today. In local news, the Park City Miners beat Tooele in a blowout game last week, 52-12, marking their first regional win since 2020. Tonight, they play Springville at Dozier Field. If they win this game, it will be their first undefeated season since 2019. The game starts at 7 p.m., so let's take a look at the weather for tonight's forecast.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Welcome back to this morning's show. We've got a very exciting conversation with Katy Wang, talking all about things at Park City Film. Katy, how are you this morning?
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So what is going on this weekend? You've got a lot of films in the works and a lot of really cool opportunities for people to be entertained and to stay cultured and educated.
Absolutely. Well, we actually have quite a busy weekend as we wrap up kind of the end of summer, early fall. We've got some cold weather here in Park City, so it feels like winter is just on its way. But our feature film this weekend is a fantastic film that premiered at the Sundance Film Festival, won the Grand Jury Prize. It's a New York Times critics pick, and it's called Scrapper. Just one of my favorite films of the festival this past year. And this is kind of a father-daughter, kind of comedy, but also drama at the same time. It's about a 12-year-old girl named Georgie in the UK who her mother passed away, and so she's living on her own, and she's stealing bikes to make a living and trying to evade social services. So kind of a scrappy, living by her wits type person, until one day this man shows up named Jason, who turns out is her long lost, estranged father. And that kind of turns everything on its head, of course. And you kind of see their relationship evolve as, you know, who's the parent, who's the child, how do they deal with this grief together, and how do they grow up together? So just kind of a beautifully complex, textured film. Harris Dickinson plays the father. Lola Campbell is the daughter, and it's her first role, and she is amazing. They're both just incredible. Their energy together is just exceptional to watch. So I'm really excited to have this film grace our screens this weekend, and I hope folks will come out and enjoy it.
That's great. And now you've got a few others as well. Tell me about those.
Sure. Well, before I leave Scrapper, just want to let you know when it's playing. I do want to thank Julie Hopkins, Keller Williams Real Estate. She's the underwriter for our film this weekend, which is always super important for us as a nonprofit organization to be able to bring these films in. But you can catch Scrapper Friday and Saturday at 7, and then again Sunday at 6. And then if you're looking for more films to watch, we've got plenty for you. On Saturday, we've got quite a busy day. We're starting off at 4 o'clock with a matinee screening of Lin-Manuel Miranda's In the Heights. This is a musical, amazing music, just about Washington Heights in New York, where I grew up, about the Latino community there, and just amazing. If you liked Hamilton, you will love this film. This is part of our new Cine en Español series that we created with the Park City Library. So the film will be shown in Spanish with English subtitles, and that is a free screening at 4 o'clock. So you can just show on up and enjoy a fantastic film and great music and sing along if you like. And then Saturday evening, we are back again. at the Twilight Drive-In at Deer Valley Resort. So we put a pause on Utah Olympic Park this summer because they were super busy and we couldn't get a slot. But we really wanted to make sure we got the Twilight Drive-In before our summer season, fall season ended, and wanted to kick off to winter. So last weekend we had a sold-out screening of Matchstick Productions film. This weekend we'll be back for one night only with Teton Gravity Research's new ski film, Legend Has It. And that'll be showing at 8 p.m. at Snow Park, Lot 4 at Deer Valley Resort. And you can get details at parkcityfilm.org. Definitely get your tickets in advance. We had to turn people away last weekend, which is always a bummer for us and a bummer for folks that weren't able to get tickets in time to come see the show. So it's a great experience, really fun way to see a movie out under the stars and, of course, get ready for ski season.
Absolutely. And Teton Gravity Research definitely gets the stoke going as we head into the ski season. So I love the movie In the Heights as well. Katie, where can we go to find out all of the showings, all the information, and where to buy tickets?
So to parkcityfilm.org. Again, I want to thank Julie Hopkins, Keller Williams Real Estate for underwriting Scrapper. She also is underwriting Teton Gravity Research's Legend Has It Saturday night. And we want to thank our presenting sponsor for the drive-in this year. It's the Icon Pass. So we've got a lot of folks out there who are helping all the magic happen, as they say, in the business. And parkcityfilm.org is where you can get information. We sell tickets starting an hour before showtime at the box office on site, unless, of course, it's sold out. So for the drive-in, I would highly recommend getting that in advance. But, we're always excited to have folks show up and join us if they have a change of plans. And we look forward to seeing you at the movies. We've got lots of opportunities this weekend.
Well, Katie, thank you for sharing all of the opportunities to have some fun and to view some really impactful and incredible films. We appreciate all that you do at Park City Film. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Now stay tuned. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the show. One of our hosts, Kevin Shields, had a conversation with the founder of Girls Love Travel. I certainly love travel, so I can't wait to see this conversation.
We have a spectacular person with us today, Haley Woods, Girls Love Travel. And who doesn't love to travel? Haley?
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Well, thanks for tuning in with us today.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. I love to travel and I love talking about all things travel.
I bet you do. Well, how did this whole thing get started?
So back in 2015, I just started a Facebook group and oh my goodness, it's taken off. So I was able to just connect with people. And back then there wasn't any other community like this where women could talk about just all things travel and connect with each other and meet up with each other all around the world. And that's what we do today. We now have over 1.4 million members all over the world living on all 7 continents, because we even have people that are working in Antarctica right now. We've had a member go to outer space. So it's amazing. It's been a phenomenal ride for sure.
Wow, outer space, that is the ultimate travel. And I tell you, it's neat with the group that you've assembled. There's so many different kinds of travelers. There's travelers that travel with their family, with their partner, travel alone. How do you work everything to gear towards that mass demographic?
Oh, it's such a great question because we talk about that a lot. Like, what is travel? And for some people, they think that travel is only when you travel across the world or you do an elaborate itinerary. But for others, they can't afford that. And travel is going on a scavenger hunt to the town next door, or maybe doing a staycation because you can't get vacation days. And all of those are relevant. Travel is, well, actually, it goes back to the name, Girls Love Travel. The reason why we use the term girls is because for us, it's that wide-eyed wonderment that you have like a child. So no matter if you're going down the street to a new destination or if you're going all the way across the globe, you're exploring something new, and that truly is travel. And that gets you that spark of enthusiasm.
I love that word wonderment because that is exactly what it is. When you travel, and I don't care if it's in the United States or across the world, I've got a friend of mine, Abby, who travels. She says, I work now just to travel because I love infusing myself in different cultures and learning things and bringing back the inspirations and the life enrichment that I learned from travel.
Absolutely. And we see that a lot, that the main demographic of our community tends to be people that are scrolling through the feed Monday through Friday, where they're not physically traveling, but they're using the community to give their mind a bit of travel and a bit of travel, like a little vacation while they're at work. Because in the community, like I said, we have over 1 million members, and every single day, according to our analytics, we have 500,000 members that are participating in some way, whether they're reacting or commenting or posting and connecting with each other. And so with that, it's all just being able to give yourself a break. And I think that's one of the best things about travel. And one of the things that we missed so much during COVID times was giving yourself that opportunity of the break that travel often gives us.
Yeah, Haley, I think you're exactly right. During that time of COVID, a lot of things changed, the way we travel, and now it's like where we want to travel. And so looking through your website, there's a lot of cultural infusion places you can go, and there's also like the culinary, the taste of. How do you come up with these different packages based on the areas?
So a lot of that comes from our community members. At this exact moment right now, we have 15 Girls Love Travel members that are exploring Egypt. And we just had a group come back from Cuba. We have a group that just came back from Greece. I was on that trip for Greece as well. About 2 months ago, we went to Japan, where a bunch of us got to climb Mount Fuji. I mean, these are all amazing experiences that maybe we wouldn't be able to do by ourselves. The majority of the time, whenever we plan a group trip, then we do it as a place that somebody wouldn't be able to go and do everything themselves. One of my favorite facilitators that helps me out is a company called Heart of Travel, which is based for South American exploration. And the founder, she lived in Guatemala for 13 years. And so we've got these amazing trips to Guatemala where it gives that little neighborhood exploration, those things that you can't just find by Google search, or you can't just find on Viator whenever you're booking something. It's those off the beaten track things that we love to find for everyone.
Right, and that was my next question. How often do you get to go out and go on these trips? I can imagine your passport is probably full.
I've been very fortunate. I'm not going to lie. I've been able to go to all 7 continents with my community members. This year alone, I've explored 11 countries, everything from going to Cuba over New Year's, which was a phenomenal way to start the year with travel. So you can really start the year right and put your foot forward with that. I got to go to a country called Mauritania, where I jumped on an iron ore train and went across the Sahara Desert on top of an iron ore train. Like I said, I went to Japan and hiked Mount Fuji. I went to Australia and swam in the Great Barrier Reef. I've had a very good year. And back in 2018 and 2019, I went to all 7 continents. We've got over 160 of our community members that we've supported to take to Antarctica, and we've got a bunch that are going again this year. So it's really all over the world. Wherever we think that somebody might want to go that's talking about it in our community, we try and assist them. One of the main things that we say, we love to explore the world fearlessly. So we explore, what are your fears about travel? How can we support you to make that not so fearful, not so problematic whenever you go? We have a lot of multi-generationals in our community, where moms will be in the community because their daughter is getting ready to go and explore maybe a semester abroad, or going and doing a gap year and wanting to have that support of knowing 1 million women around the world are there looking out for their daughter or their niece or their granddaughter. It's really great. We have over 40 that are going on a cruise next month with me down through Dominican Republic and the Bahamas. And we have people from ages 19 through 76 that are on that cruise with us. So it's really everyone. And we try and support all sorts of different types of travel.
Wow, when you talk about travel, I mean, travel's an art form. I mean, being able to travel and organize and plan a trip is truly an art, but it's also living life when you come back with those experiences. And like you said, sometimes maybe it's not only the destination, but those that you're traveling with.
I'm very fortunate with that as well. I think that these days I have been able to explore over 70 countries myself around the world, but I keep going back to a lot of countries. I mentioned already that I went to Japan and Australia this year. Both of those destinations I've been to about 4 times before. There are people that are in our community that are what we call checklist travelers that do a bit more of a country count or wanting to go to check off world wonders or things like that. For me, I am starting to be a lot more like you were saying about going because of the people, wanting to meet up with a new group of people, meeting up with a new group of Girls Love Travel members and explore the world with them. It just really makes me excited, especially when we've got first-time international travelers, people that have gotten their first passport stamp and help them with that. It's a wonderful way to really start them on the exploration of the entire world.
Wow, what a great, great experience. Now, I'm sure a lot of your travelers, when they go to these places, sometimes it's very emotional when you come into connection with a different culture or the food or the art, whatever goes. What are some of the stories that you've heard from those you travel with that maybe have been life-changing for themselves?
Well, we have a trip coming up at the end of this month that is going to Oaxaca, Mexico, that I was fortunate to go to last year to celebrate Day of the Dead. And during that, we actually assist with creating an altar to honor those that have passed before us. And we even allow the community members that are on the trip to send in some photos so that we can print them out and we can present them to the altar. And being part of that last year was amazing because the connection that you make with the others on the trip and the cultural immersion of being able to really experience what another culture is doing in that kind of celebration form was life-changing. It was phenomenal. But almost every trip that we've been on, that we've been able to do, there's this connection that gets made with the women that are going on the trip. And sometimes we have co-ed trips too, which is really great, and seeing the guys that are connecting. We had 17 on a trip to Egypt where there was about 8 men that were on the trip with us, and that was really great. But I just think that it's just one of those moments, especially for women that haven't explored the world that much, being able to find somebody else that is like-minded. It reminds you that your love of travel doesn't make you different. It connects you with others that are in the group.
Well, Haley, thank you so much for being on the show with us today, but more importantly, putting together this community, because what an opportunity for these individuals, these girls to get out, ladies to get out and travel, form this camaraderie, form their lifelong relationships. So don't forget, go to girlslovetravel.com, check out Haley and all of her friends that she's put together on some of these amazing trips. Thank you so much, Haley.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Welcome back to Wasatch Weekends. I'm your host, Kimberly Perot. It has been an exciting Friday morning edition of today's show. We talked to Katy Wang, Teton Gravity Research at Deer Valley Resort Saturday night. Buy those tickets ahead of time because it will sell out tonight. If you're looking for something to do, go see the Park City Miners play against Springfield at Dozier Field, 7 p.m. Check the weather. You don't want to miss it. Let's see them hit their first undefeated season since 2019. And then we had an excellent conversation where Kevin Shields talked to the founder of Girls Love Travel. Awesome conversation, lots of fun to see all of the things and the women-empowered businesses that we have in the local community. So I'm your host, Kimberly Perot. Great to see you. Thanks for joining.